Salutations, strangers. I'm Britt.
And I'm D.
D, when you sign on, you should be like, hello, it's D.
I was wondering when you were going to bring that up again.
It's so perfect. I can't do that, though. Like, I guess I could be like, no, I don't have anything that I could do yet. That's probably do it because that's perfect every time. Hello.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of
It's a Strange World After All.
The podcast where we discuss true crime cases, the supernatural, urban legends, conspiracy theories, and all of the things that keep the world strange.
In today's episode, we discuss the McMartin Preschool trial. The McMartin Preschool trial was a daycare sexual abuse case in the 1980s. Members of the McMartin family who ran the preschool in Manhattan Beach, California, were charged with numerous acts of sexual abuse of children in their care.
First of all, this case is crazy.
Yes.
Crazy. And then it's like, this has to be one of the biggest fears as a parent, like something happening to your child at like daycare or school and just you not being able to do anything about it. And it's like most average people are like lower class or white collar. Is it white collar or blue collar? What's the lesser of the... Is it blue collar?
I honestly, I think it's blue collar, but I don't know.
I'm going to say most blue collar families cannot afford to homeschool their children. So it's something that you essentially have to do. But it's like, I'm leaving them with these people. What's going to happen?
Exactly. I don't know. That's a tough one. Because I know, if I'm remembering this correctly, because Deja, when she used to go to daycare, like, I think one time she came home with like a knot or something. And Keisha was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know.
You don't know.
And then you want to go up there and fight because
you don't know. You're going based on what your child is telling you, and you just don't know. I remember I got Troy, one of us got something stuck in our ear, and one of us got something stuck in our nose. I think I got a rock stuck in my nose at daycare. Like, how did that happen? I was curious. You know, kids are curious. You have these extra holes. What are these holes do? But I think that's about, no, I've been in trouble. I had to spend I think 3 days. And what's the alternate school? What's that alternate school called? Dang, I'm old. Not ISS, but it's when you go to the actual alternate school. It might have been called something different in your school district.
I just remember ISS.
Nah, baby, I was a rebel. I was in it's been 2 or 3 days at another school. I can't remember what it was called, but it's for something that I didn't even like. We ain't got to get into it.
I'll ask my brother. I'm sure he knows.
Because he's probably spent most of...
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes, he spent most of his school career at the alternate school. In 1983, Judy Johnson, the mother of one of the children at the McMartin Preschool, reported to police that her son had been sodomized by McMartin teacher Raymond Bucky. 25-year-old Ray Bucky was the grandson of school founder Virginia McMartin and son of administrator Peggy McMartin Bucky.
Johnson believed that her 2-year-old son had been abused when he started complaining about painful bowel movements, after which she found blood in his diaper. This is a serious question. Do 2-year-olds still wear diapers?
Some do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, most kids aren't like potty trained until like ages 2, 3.
Okay, I don't know anything about kids, so I have no clue.
Yeah, it just depends on the kid. Like some kids get it at one, some kids it takes a little time. It took me a little time to get the whole waking up out of your sleep to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it just
Yeah.
depends.
Okay. Johnson said that her son told her Ray Bucky had molested him. Again, does he even know what that did he say that like verbatim?
Okay, so I don't want to give anything away. I would say that's something to pay attention to as we go through the story. But yeah, it's like
Okay.
no 2-year-old is going to come and be like, or come and say, "Hey, mom, this teacher molested me." I don't think that that's what happened at all. I honestly think what happened was she saw that, assumed that something bad was happening, and maybe asked like some sort of question to allude
Like
to the
yeah.
fact. Another thing, this also brings up the fact, or maybe I should wait to say this, but this is why they tell you at a certain age, you teach your children what their parts mean. You don't give it like cute names like pee pee, or
Oh,
like
yeah.
you tell them,
Yeah.
hey, this is your penis. Your penis is private. This is your vagina. Your vagina is private. No one should be touching you. Like my mom would say, if something feels uncomfortable, you tell me right away because no one should be there unless they're changing you or something like that. Like no one should be there. So
I agree with that.
yeah, they even have books now. Look, see how far we've come.
Really?
Yeah, one of Chris's best friends, his wife bought her two daughters a book, and it teaches them like the names for it, and then like teaches them like what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. I wish I knew the name for the
Oh,
parents out there. If I figure out the name, I'll link it in like the details of it. Yes, they have a book
okay.
to teach children about that.
Good. She also told police that Ray dressed her son in women's clothing and played doctor with him. In addition to that, she said she heard claims of abuse involving other children. How how did her son, basically what I said before, like she said that he told her they played doctor. He doesn't know what that means. He's 2.
Yes, I agree. Also, the fact that kids play doctor. I've literally walked in on
Exactly.
my two little cousins. One was giving birth, and I was just like, she's really in here giving birth. She's pushing and everything, giving birth to a stuffed animal. So, I,
Oh
yeah, it's
my
like
god.
it wasn't clear. And then, like, you went through a couple of different articles. I went through a couple of different articles, watched a couple different. Oh no, my phone's not on silent. Sorry. Okay, went through a couple different articles, watch different videos, but it was never clear on how this first allegation, how she came to the conclusion from whatever he told
Yeah.
her. Cause like you said, it wasn't like he was like, Mom, this guy did this to me. Cause he couldn't communicate that. So it was like, what did he
Yeah,
say to you to where you were just like, oh God, this is molestation?
exactly. That's what I wanna know.
Oh, and then yeah, when did you hear claims of abuse involving other children? Like where did this come from?
Yeah, that too. You know what? I think there was a episode of Law& and Order SVU kinda similar to this.
Probably.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
I can believe they probably took it from this. Authorities launched a massive investigation into the McMartin Preschool. The police sent a letter to the parents of students at the school stating that their children might have been abused and asking the parents to question their children. I added a little snippet of the letter. It's not the entire letter, but I
Oh, I was
felt,
gonna say, I don't
yeah,
remember putting this.
I I did. So the letter was sent or dated September 8th, 1983. It reads, Dear parent, this department is conducting a criminal investigation involving child molestation. Uh, Ray Bucky, an employee of Virginia McMartin's preschool, was arrested September 7th, 1983 by this department. The following procedure is obviously an unpleasant one, but to protect the rights of your children as well as the rights of the accused, this inquiry is necessary for a complete investigation. Records indicate that your child has been or is currently a student at the preschool. We are asking your assistance in this continuing investigation. Please question your child to see if he or she has been a witness to any crime or if he or she has been a victim. Our investigation indicates that possible criminal acts include oral sex, fondling of genitals, buttock or chest area, and sodomy, possibly committed under the pretense of taking the child's temperature, in quotations. Also, photos may have been taken of children without their clothing. Any information from your child regarding having ever observed Ray Bucky to leave a classroom alone with a child during any nap period, or if they have ever observed Ray Bucky tie up a child, is important. It goes on to say, like, they had, I guess, like a sheet that they like would fill information out and send it back, and then it said something about it being like confidential and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And but I wanted to include that because I just wanted to know your thoughts, because when I read it I was just like, one, why did you name the victim? Like, I feel like they could have said there was an employee at the school.
Yes. I was thinking about that when you were reading it.
Yeah.
Cause he's been arrested, but he hasn't been convicted of anything. So why would you name him?
Exactly. That was my like first red flag. I was like, okay, you're putting this in these parents' head and then you named someone. So if I was gonna ask someone, hey, has anything happened to you? I would want them to tell me, okay, it was Mr. Bucky, or it was, that was the one
Yeah.
red flag. Another red flag was them putting in the possible criminal acts. I don't know. I feel like that painted a
That too.
picture, especially like in the 80s. You are like, it's enough to say, okay, well, we have a person, he's under investigation for sexual abuse. That's it. They listed in detail. And it's like, me as a parent, I'm freaking out. Like, you painted that picture
Yeah.
for
And
me.
that those were my exact thoughts when you were reading that. I'm like, they basically put everything out there.
Basically.
And they obviously they're gonna take it and run with it, but they shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
Panic set in and would only intensify as allegations increased in both the number of victims and the severity of the abuse. So, again, do you think they should have sent the letter, or do you think it just should have been more discreet?
They should have sent the letter, but they shouldn't have put all of that in there. They should have just been like, hey, this is going on. Just, talk to your children, but not,
Yeah.
they put everything in there, everything. Because as a parent, you you would want to know if something like that happened. So they should have been
Right.
notified. So yeah, I do think, they should have sent the letter, but they did it wrong.
It was tacky, to say
Yeah.
the least. And then now that I'm thinking about it, they should have coached the parents,
Mhm.
I think, on how to ask their children, because it's awkward enough
Yeah.
talking, even having the sex talk at a
Yeah.
certain age is awkward, but they should have coached the parents on the proper way to ask these questions, or maybe not even ask the parents at all. Maybe just go ahead and say, okay, we're going to interview all these children. Like, let's just take that extra time ourselves and interview all these children.
And it sounds like they didn't want to do that. That's why they went about doing that, telling the parents to, because they didn't want to do it. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a lot of extra work, and
Yeah.
they were like,
Lazy McGee.
yeah,
Lazy McGee's.
basically. Over 400 children were interviewed by the Children's Institute International, or CII, a Los Angeles based therapy clinic run by Key McFarland. By spring of 1984, it was claimed that 360 children had been abused. That is a lot.
It is a lot. And not to take anything away from these children or their parents or their, experience, situations, whatever. That's a lot of accusations. And were they all supposedly committed by Ray Bucky? No, it was the teachers as well, right? Like some of the staff.
So that I think they mostly put it on him.
Why did they? Because now that I think about it, because I wrote that and then
Oh, no,
thought
no,
about,
no.
because they had a couple of teachers.
Yeah, I think they really just
Okay.
named him because he was the son, like, he was related to the
Yeah.
owners, but they did accuse other teachers.
Okay. Okay. That's still like a lot. But I guess it was kids past too, like kids that had come and gone, and then the kids that
Oh,
were currently
yeah,
there.
but that's still a lot.
It's still a lot.
Later research showed that the methods of questioning used on the children were extremely suggestive, leading to false accusations. Others think that the questioning itself may have led to false memory syndrome.
Okay, so in a video by the New York Times, they mentioned that the therapists interviewing the children were unintentionally pressuring these children into saying that these things happened to them. So an example was like in an interview, they would ask a kid, and this actually happened, whether they'd played any like naked, I was gonna say naked, and whether they played any naked games. Like they kept saying naked games, like naked horsey games, naked doctor games.
Why?
Well, yes, and so d- they would ask him that, and then like the kid would be like, no, but the interviewer would continue to like reinforce the question, like, are you sure other kids have said that they have played naked horsey games? Maybe you just don't remember the naked horsey games. So they would basically continue to reinforce the question until the kid told them like mm-hmm or like yes. Like sometimes it wasn't even a definite yes, it was like a mm-hmm, like, and it's written
Oh,
in like the transcripts. So basically they were saying that they created these false memories of sexual abuse in these children. So I think if you see a picture in a photo album, say it's like you with an ice cream cone, and you're like, I don't remember this happening at all, but people tell you the day or like exactly what happened, and they're like, you don't remember that, you will start to think that you actually
yes.
have those memories, but those are not actually your
Yeah,
memories. So
that's what was going on here.
that's what it appears like and there are like endless there's this website, again, don't remember the name because it's not my ministry, but I'll put it in the sources. There's this website where this guy like talks about the case, and then he has some of those interviews posted, and you can read those interviews, and it's just like, what in the world? That kid didn't tell you that's what happened. You told the kid to tell you that that's what happened, that they were playing naked doctor. That kid never said anything about being touched.
Yeah,
Like,
and then these are kids. They probably just want to go home.
exactly. They're just like, I don't know why I'm here. You got
Yeah,
these puppets. It was cool for 5 minutes, but I'm ready to go. Like,
exactly. You have adults that confess to stuff because they just want to go home.
I was thinking that because I was thinking of like the Adnan case.
Mhm.
Because I was thinking about that dude Jay, and like in his confessions, and them like being like, are you sure you didn't call the phone booth? Are you sure he didn't bury her? Are you sure he didn't? I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about the exonerated
Mhm.
five, like how that, yeah.
Yep. Only 41 of the 360 children testified in the grand jury and pretrial hearings, and fewer than a dozen testified at the actual trials. So they did all that and only got, I don't know. That just seems like a lot
Yeah,
to go through.
it was a lot to go through. Also, yeah, it was, I think the number was 9. I think they had 9 children
Mm.
take the stand.
And my thing is, you not only that, they're putting all these kids through trauma.
Exactly. That's another thing that New York Times, might have also been the Washington Post, was saying about the false memories. You're creating these false memories, and they're not happy memories. They're memories of sexual abuse.
Yes,
So it's like this kid has spent their entire life thinking, whether it happened or not, that they've been sexually abused.
this is just sad. And yeah, because it just hit me like they're putting these kids through this nonsense for what?
For what? Because one lady, like you can't even, I can't even, because one lady, yeah, her kid probably had hemorrhoids, allegedly, maybe. I mean, because kids can get the,
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting you to say that. I don't know what I thought you were
I
gonna say.
mean, the kid probably had hemorrhoids. He probably was forcing his poop out.
Okay, let me keep going.
Maybe he had some red Kool-Aid. Who knows, That stuff stays in your system forever.
During the course of the investigation, media outlets reported a series of startling and strange allegations attributed to the children.
I'm coming at you with the strange and startling allegations. Some of the allegations were as follows. Ray Bucky flew into the classroom. He took one he took one child to meet a goat man and took another child to a house where lions roamed free.
It's already like
It started off, I thought it was going to like ease
no.
into it. No, it started off pretty ridiculous. Animal sacrifices were made involving a horse, rabbits, and other classroom pets. They had horses as classroom pets. Is that what this is saying?
I don't know. Apparently.
Teachers took children to orgies at a car wash and an airport. How in the hell can you manage a kid teacher orgy at a car wash? First of all, you only have, if we going through the wash, you only have a minute. You got a minute. You got a minute. You're going through the cycle. You're going through. You only have 1 minute, about a minute. Or an airport.
Unless
I
it
know it's
was
before 9/11,
if it
but
was the Denver airport,
oh
possibly.
yeah, but
This is not in Denver
this
though.
wasn't in yeah, it wasn't even in
So
Colorado.
I don't
So, but
know.
I get where you were
Yeah.
going. Children were flushed in quotations down toilets to sewer rooms for abuse.
How is that possible?
It sounds like something a child would make up, though. It doesn't sound like
Oh,
it
I
sounds
see.
like something a
Yeah.
child would make
Yeah.
up. Like, yeah, I heard that a kid was flushed down the toilet. What? Children were transported to off-site abuse locations via hot air balloon.
Oh my God.
One child identified actor Chuck Norris from a photograph, claiming he had been present for some of the abuse.
Not
So now Chuck
not
Norris.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And a series of tunnels under the school were connected to secret chambers for sex rituals and other abuse. So these are just some of the
Yeah.
allegations that they were making. Excavations turned up no evidence of any tunnels or secret chambers. The only thing they found was plywood boxes that the children crawled through during playtime. So
Why none of these allegations make any sense? So why are you investigating them in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe they felt like, although they don't make sense, that there was something to it. Like maybe it was like, I was gonna say Morse code, but code for something like, oh, flushing them down the toilets is like code for taking them to a secret. I
Oh,
don't know. Maybe they
okay.
thought, yeah,
I guess, but
I guess I
Chuck Norris though.
Chuck Norris. Child, maybe they assumed another person looked like Chuck Norris at the school. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Because Raymond does not look like Chuck
No.
Norris. So
Yeah, maybe they just had like one ginger, so they were like, "Oh, Chuck Norris." I don't know.
that's the guy. That's the guy that that's the guy that flushed me down the toilet and sicked the goat man on me, and
Why is that the accent though? This is
I don't know.
Wait, this is California, right?
That's like the guy that flushed me down the toilet, and had animal sacrifices with horses. And we went to a car wash and an airport. Airport. It's because I was about to say and had an orgy.
Even though most of these claims were impossible, detectives took some of them seriously enough to warrant a full investigation.
I'm going to say I'm actually not opposed to them doing an investigation. I personally feel as though I would be curious to know what the heck is going on at the school.
Police were said to have searched 37 cars, 11 residences, 7 businesses, 3 churches, 2 airports, and a farm. They came away with no physical evidence, but charges were still filed and convictions were pursued. On March 22, 1984, authorities filed more than 100 charges of child abuse against 7 staff members from the McMartin Preschool.
How if they said they didn't have any physical evidence?
That's what I would like to know. Like, what? They did all of that and found nothing.
No. In the 20 months of preliminary hearings, the prosecution presented their theory of sexual abuse. However, the children's testimony was inconsistent. In 1986, Ira Reiner, a new district attorney, said that the evidence was incredibly weak and dropped all the charges against the staff members, except for Peggy McMartin Bucky and her son, Ray Bucky, because it was weak, but it was
Yeah.
weak. But what evidence did they have to keep Peggy and Bucky?
They probably had no evidence. They just wanted to charge somebody.
Right? It's like, okay, well, we did all of this,
Yeah.
so what now? That's crazy. And then also the fact that you're talking about all these students, they couldn't have they couldn't have orchestrated this by themselves.
No,
There's no way that just those two could have done this by themselves.
no. 2 trials were held for the McMartin case. The first one started on July 13th, 1987, and lasted until January 18th, 1990. On January 18th, 1990, Peggy was acquitted on all counts, and Ray was cleared on 52 of 65 counts. That is a lot for them not to have any evidence of anything.
That is a lot.
What?
And then, yeah, they only had 9 children take the stand.
Yeah.
So,
That's okay. Yeah, that's weird. He was freed on bail after serving 5 years in jail. Ray was retried in 1990 on 6 of the 13 counts of which he wasn't acquitted in the first trial. The second trial began on May 7th, 1990, and resulted in a hung jury on July 27th, 1990. The prosecution gave up on trying to get another conviction and the case was closed. All charges against Ray Bucky were dismissed. He spent 5 years in jail without ever being convicted of committing any crime. That is stupid.
I would have
Yes.
sued everybody involved. The parents, authorities, everybody's getting sued.
Yes. 5 years?
I had to sue the kids. Like, can I sue a minor? Because I'm about to. You said I did what at a car wash, at a church, at a farm? Mm-mm.
No.
And I mean, that is to say, of course, these are all allegations, and they've not been proven false, of course, but they've not been proven without a reasonable doubt that they did this. So it's like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm gonna need something. I've spent 5, you've ruined my life. I can't go work at
Yes.
another preschool.
Sad.
Judy Johnson, the woman who started all of this, was diagnosed and hospitalized for acute paranoid schizophrenia. She told the prosecution about her mental illness beforehand, but it was withheld from the defense for 3, count them, not 1, not 2, but 3 years.
That's ridiculous too. That's how I don't understand how this got this far, because all of this is just ridiculous.
It is very ridiculous. The accusations are ridiculous, especially when this does happen to children every day. And it's like, there should have been measures taken to
Yeah.
say, okay, is this actually happening? Or is this parent, I don't know, is this parent just overreacting? Like, that's ridiculous. Oh, yeah. And then, yeah, why? Like, this is stuff that you see on like TV, like How to Get Away with Murder or like Law and Order, like them being shady like that. Because why
Mhm.
did they withhold evidence? Like, why are you so focused? Somebody mentioned this in one of those interviews for this case. They were saying basically the adults were the reason for children suffering, because it was like you wanted it to be true,
Yeah.
or the prosecution, you wanted to win so bad that you were missing all these details and you were willing to put these kids through this. And everything was against you. Like, literally everything was against you. That should have been disclosed that she had
I
that she was schizophrenic. Like,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
it's too
Too
much.
much.
Judy was found dead in her home from complications of chronic alcoholism in 1986 before the preliminary hearing concluded. So she obviously was not even a credible witness because she was a schizophrenic alcoholic. That came out. She was a schizophrenic alcoholic.
Yeah.
Gee.
And was she always an alcoholic, or did she start drinking because she felt guilty?
Ooh.
I just thought about that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about
So,
that.
because I mean, all of this is her fault.
It
So
is her fault.
she ruined all those teachers' lives. She ruined all those kids' lives. She traumatized kids for no reason. This case is considered to be one of the most expensive and longest criminal trials in American history.
And for what?
The McMartin Preschool case lasted 7 years and cost $15 million. In 2005, one of the children, now an adult, retracted the claims of abuse. This case was a part of the satanic panic that occurred during the 1980s into the late 1990s.
Satanic panic. Satanic panic. It sounds like, sorry. It sounds like a thing. Like,
Like what?
I don't know, like a come join the satanic panic. Mm.
Oh my God.
So these were rumors, right? So like there were rumors that multiple like childcare daycare facilities were taking part in satanic rituals.
Yeah.
But then it was like no evidence. Like they looked into all these schools, but then no evidence was ever found to back up these allegations.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
So I read that the whole satanic panic thing was basically started to push religion.
Oh, so there was like so it was like a scare tactic
Yes,
almost.
basically,
Okay.
to make people Christians.
Dang. Who did this though? But
I don't
technically
know.
it's just a rumor though. It's not like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Because the satanic panic is real. There were a lot of cases like this case. So it's a real thing, but nobody knows why it started. So that's just one of the theories.
Oh, okay. The McMartin Preschool was ultimately closed and the building was demolished. Ray Bucky changed his name and moved to the Northwest, where he lives with his wife and son. He also opened up a gas station with a theme, a
You
beaver
better not.
theme.
I
Uh, they have them here in Texas. I don't know. Is Bucky's anywhere
I
else?
I don't think so.
What if that was his Bucky's? Good for you, Ray, if you could turn it around like that. You got great kolaches and sausages and
Oh my God, the best.
popcorn and yeah.
The best.
That um that's all folks. That it sucks that they had to demolish their preschool.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they were probably worked, well, not probably, they did work hard for that. That's their family
Yeah.
business. And
Yeah.
now it's gone because of whatever her name is.
Judy Johnson. Not to be confused with never mind. Judy Johnson.
Yeah. Like all of this could have been avoided.
Final thoughts.
Those are my final thoughts.
All of this could have been avoided.
Yes.
Tagline. All of the D, what do you have to say? All of
Could
this
have
could
been
have been
avoided.
avoided. I said, yeah, all of this could have been avoided. I think of course you should take things that are going on with your kids serious,
Yeah.
of course, like a bruise or anything like that. But also, don't be afraid to talk to your kids. Like during this time, she probably didn't talk to her 2-year-old. She probably was not using proper terms for their genitalia.
Mhm.
It probably was more of like a coercion on the adults' part into getting those kids to say what they wanted them to say. So luckily now there are better like interviewing tactics. Like
Mhm.
they were saying it's specifically for like the CII that director stepped down. I think she actually left the company,
Yeah.
the main. And then like now they have better tactics as far as knowing how to interview the children and basically getting the kids to tell you what actually happened to them. So
Yeah.
not telling the kids what to say, but asking them, what happened. If you listen to your kids, they will tell you because
Yeah.
kids know everything. They will tell you anything you
Yeah,
want to
that's
hear.
true.
So also I thought it was interesting because there still isn't definite proof that this didn't happen. So let's not take that away from alleged victims or survivors. But one of the alleged survivors, Elizabeth Coffey, told Oxygen's Uncovered, the McMartin family trials, that she has memories of being abused by Ray Bucky. She to this day believes that she was molested by Ray Bucky. She basically accuses him for ruining her childhood and ultimately her life.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. But again, is that one of those false memory
Yeah.
things? Is she remembering this correctly? Because I mean, I ain't trying to be funny. He looked a little,
Oh my
but I
God.
mean, in that period, like from like the 60s through like the 90s, some of the men looked a little skeevy. It was like the mustaches, the
Yeah.
glass. They all kind of look like
Yeah.
Ted Bundy. So
True.
I don't know.
And also, okay, Judy, when she saw the blood in the diaper, did she take him to be examined?
Exactly, because they could have told her whether or not his what you call it is it sphincter? What do you call that? Anyway, they could have examined him and told her whether or not it had been torn, whether or not it looked like signs of abuse. Like,
Yeah, because that wasn't clear whether or not she took him or not. So that, if she would have done that, it could have been avoided.
yeah,
But those are my final thoughts.
yeah. Open dialogues. Be comfortable. Don't jump right on. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Continue. Moral of the story is sphincter.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at It's a Strange World Podcast and on Twitter at Pod Strange World. Also on Facebook at It's a Strange World After All.
Yes, we would love, love, love to hear from you. Tell us what you think about the McMartin preschool trial. Do you believe that the allegations were true? Or even if some of the allegations were true, or that the preschool owner and staff were wrongfully accused. Also, if there's anything within the realm of strange you would like for us to cover, let us know and we can do that for you. We'll shout you out, even if you just want to say, Hey, hey, hey. What do you say? Hey. We love to hear from you. That's it. Just
Yes.
talk to us.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of It's a Strange World After All.
Thanks so much for keeping it strange with us. Also, again, thank you for being with us during these times. Brittany here with a brand new mic coming at you. So hopefully the sound quality, is great. When I listened back in the tester that we did, it sounded beautiful, or it's beautiful by our standards.
Yeah.
We're not this professional,
Yeah. Not yet.
But we're working. Yeah, not yet. We're working on it. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye 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 bye.